All right, so at first I wasn't really hyped for the update that's coming in June for NGS because I know like a lot of people was hyped for the house building stuff, but I'm not really into that. I was mostly into just, fighting and, using skills and things like that. What we're getting is some balance adjustments for all of the classes except the Slayer because the Slayer had just came out, so, still figuring things out there. And some of these things I took a peek into some of them, and some of them look really exciting. I'm going to start with the Hunter because it's right at the top, and it is the class that I main, or at least used to main, before the Slayer came out. And so we're just gonna go ahead and check it out. So some of these things might be buffs and some of these things might be nerfs depending on what it says, and I will let you know whether I think if it's a buff or a nerf. So Hunter Physique. The damage taking rate is increased when used by a subclass. If I'm reading this correctly and it's not a translation error, this is a nerf. Damage taking rate increased when used by a subclass. So that means that the damage that you take will be increased, when using this. Hunter's Physique usually reduces the damage that you take anyway. And I'm actually going to jump into the skill tree and show you real quick. So yeah, as you can see right here, the Hunter's Physique. This is like the temporary power-up that you can give yourself. It has a cooldown and everything like that. You can also, shorten the time with this one. But yeah, as you can see right here, it says damage taken rate on main class, 30%, which means it reduces the damage that you take by 70%.
Bruh.
That's actually freaking ridiculous. I didn't realize how good that was on main. Yeah, and on sub, it reduces the damage that you take by 25%. So, but as you can see, the way they type it right here, it says damage taken rate. So, like I said, it's a little bit confusing, and it could be a translation error. So, from on paper, if I'm reading it correctly, it looks like a nerf, but there is a small chance that it actually could be a buff. Either way, I'm not really too mad with it. I feel like Hunter's Physique is really good anyway, especially on main. So if it did get nerfed, it wouldn't be too upsetting. And next we have the Hunter Physique Extra Shield. Increases damage taken rate. Once again, it could be a translation error. This could be like up or down, But shield durability count increased when used under a subclass, so it is now the same, and that's a buff, So let's jump in here real quick. So Hunter's Physique Extra Shield. Why do I have this at level 2? So as you can see right here, shield durability count on my sub. Can I move this over here? Yeah, on my sub, it's 1. And even if I move it up, it still says 1 when it's on my sub. While if it's on my main, I get 3 shields. If it's on my sub, I only get 1. So after this patch, your sub will also have 3. So I guess that's a buff. I never really found much use for the shield anyway. I think it's just more of an aesthetic thing. I think it just looks kind of cool how you get the shield appearing while you're charging up your photon art. I never really found much use for it, and I feel like it breaks really easily anyway when you're trying to do red parries. So next is the Partisan Parry Alternate Assault. I am not familiar with partisans at all, really. So I can't really explain to you what's going on with this, but I can tell you that, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just increased potency, so, don't really need to go into detail. It's just a straight-up buff. So, wired lance adjustments. Another weapon that I'm not really too familiar with. Relax cancel timing for sidestep and weapon action. The first and second steps of wired lance normal attacks. So I think relax cancel timing means increased window. So now you have like, more frames to perform this sidestep before you actually take a hit. So this is like a buff. And added a forward guard point to the third step of the wired lance normal attack. A forward guard point. Not exactly sure what that means, guys. Not even gonna lie to you. Increased motion speed for the third step of Wire Lance normal attacks. That's a buff. Increased potency for the fourth step of Wire Lance normal attacks. That's also a buff. Relax cancel timing for sidestep and weapon action for the Wired Lance sidestep strike. More buffs all around. So you're just getting more damage and you're getting more opportunities to avoid enemy attacks with your sidestep. So like, you know, you just have more, you just have a large window for your evasion. Increased potency for the final step of Wired Lance's weapon action when holding down left-right directional movement button for a variant. So pretty much just buffs all around for the freaking Wired Lance. Cutting layer, increased potency, relax sidestep when cancel timing. Adjust weapon action cancel timing. With this adjustment, it will no longer be possible to cancel the weapon action immediately after the last strike hits. So that's kind of like a nerf, right? Because I know sometimes when I play Slayer and I do the combo that ends with you doing that big blast with your gun, sometimes I hit the weapon action when an enemy attack is coming and I still get hit. So I think there's like some of these weapon action, some of these photon arts, excuse me, their combos do have like a couple frames in which you just cannot cancel or sidestep, and then you actually do take a hit. So underneath all the hair is just the vein mixture, increased potency, relaxed attack cancel timing after 2 spins, relaxed weapon action cancel timing after 2 spins, excuse me. Extended the attack range for the final attack. This is just increased potency for Turbulent Train and Hellish Fall. Just buffs all around. Just all around buffs for the Wire Lance, with the exception of this one, which is kind of like a small nerf, in which there are a couple frames in which you can get hit because you will no longer be able to cancel into your weapon action immediately after the last strike hits on your cutting layer combo. So the Thrusting Javelin, increased potency, decreased continuous PP cost while holding down the button, increased turning speed while holding down the button. Okay, so the Thrusting Javelin is the photon art that I was talking about, where you just take the partisan and you just keep rapidly stabbing the enemy. I thought that this was really good, especially when you get a red parry while doing it. So this is just pretty much buffs all around. I do know that sometimes you do need to turn while doing it because, like, you know, you slightly miss or whatever, or the enemy moves, and the fact that you get increased turning speed while doing this is actually pretty cool. So sometimes you may not actually have to cancel doing the action to reposition yourself. You might just be able to turn and continue hitting the enemy. So, you know, buffs just all around for the partisan. But, you know, I don't really main the weapon, but, you know, partisan users should be really happy with this. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for the hunter. I don't see anything for the sword, which is the weapon that I used to use when playing the hunter. But yeah, for the most part, just pretty much buffs all around for the hunter.